Okay, guys, so we're going to be getting started with week 3 of our distance learning, and it's factoring quadratic trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. But before we get into really doing that, I want to do a couple little review problems here. So we're going to list all the possible factors of the following two numbers. So for number 1, we have 12. The possible factors for 12, we have 1 and 12. We have 2 and 6. We have 3 and 4. Another option, though, is -1 and -12, -2 and -6, -3 and -4. Two negatives multiplied to be a positive, so either one of those options would work. Now for number 2, when we have -18, our options are a little different. It's -1, +18, or it could be +1 and -18. Then it's -2, +9, or it could be +2 and -9. Then we have -3, +6, or it could be +3 and -6. Okay, so it's the same numbers, but the signs can be a little different. And that really will be important and come in handy when we start getting into our notes for today. Okay, so the general form for a quadratic trinomial. Quadratic means x squared, trinomial means 3 terms. We should remember that. We have learned those before. So the general form is ax squared plus bx plus c. But for the purposes of today, a is always going to be equal to 1. So it's really just going to look like x squared and then something. Okay? Eventually, in the coming weeks, we're going to get into when a is a different number, but right now it's just going to be 1. Okay? So let's go backwards and see if we can find a pattern. So simplify by foiling. We've done this before, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the first. X squared. First, outer, plus 3x. Inner, plus 5x. Last, plus 15. So we simplify that, and that's x squared plus 8x plus 15. So let's look at that for a second. I'm just going to erase these lines so we can see a little better. If you look at 15, 15 was created by multiplying 3 and 5. If you look at 8, 8 was created by adding 3 and 5. So let's see if that's going to be the same in the next problem. X times x is x squared, x times 3 plus 3x, -2 times x minus 2x, -2 times 3 minus 6. I simplify that and I have x squared plus x minus 6. -6 was created by multiplying -2 and +3. +1 was created by adding 3 and -2. And that's not a coincidence. That's exactly what it will always be like when you go to FOIL. Okay, so now when we work backwards and we start here and we want to get back to this, we're factoring, we have steps to be able to work backwards. So we're going to think to ourselves, what are the factors of C that add up to B? Okay, remember, and that goes back up here. So C is our constant, B is the variable that's with the X. So what are our factors of C that add up to B? So then when you go to write it, you'll write it as X plus the first factor of C times X plus the second factor of C. And it might be subtraction instead of addition, just depending on what your factors are. Okay, so how could you check to see if your factors are correct when you actually go ahead and do it? Exactly what we were doing up there. You would FOIL. You could FOIL and check to make sure that you end up with what you started with. So let's work on an example together. We're going to factor the quadratic trinomial x squared plus 5x plus 4. First thing I do want you to notice, remember, x squared, we said it's always just going to be a 1 today. So now I need to figure out what are my factors of C that add up to B. So what are my factors of 4? 1 and 4, or -1 and -4? So I look at those and I say, which ones of these sets of numbers, if I added them together, would get me to 5? And the answer is 1 and 4. They multiply to C, they add to B. Then I would write it as x plus my two factors. So x plus 4 times x plus 1. Doesn't matter the order you did it in. X plus 1 times x plus 4 would still give me the same answer. And then you would check that by foiling. X times x is x squared. X times 1 plus x plus 4x plus 4. That's equal to x squared plus 5x plus 4. So you know you did it right. Okay, so let's go through some practice problems. Number 1, we're factoring all of these. I need to figure out first, I always want to go ahead and list the factors of my c. So negative 21. Okay, so I have negative 1 and 21. I have 1 and negative 21. I have negative 3 and 7. And I have 3 and negative 7. Okay, so then start adding those up in your head. And I wanted to add to negative 4. If I added these, I'd have 20. Added these, negative 20. These ones would give me 4. These ones would give me negative 4. So I want to get negative 4. I know that means my two factors are 3 and negative 7. So when I go to write this, it would be x plus 3 times x minus 7. You can write it as plus negative 7, but you really don't have to do it that way. Okay? Now, again, it could have been x minus 7 times x plus 3. Either way, the order does not matter. Okay? But we were looking for what multiplied to c that adds to b. So let's look at number 2. Let's do another example. What multiplies to c? So let's list our factors. Negative 1 and 35. 1 and negative 35. What would be the next one? Negative 5 and 7, 5 and negative 7. So let's add those up to see which one gives us positive 2. You can look at the first two and know that that's just not going to work. So then we look at negative 5 plus 7, that gives me 2. 5 plus negative 7 would give me negative 2. So I don't want that one either, which means my factors are going to be negative 5 and positive 7. So x minus 5 times x plus 7 would be my factors. If you're ever unsure, you just go ahead and FOIL to double check. So let's look over here at number 3. Now what's a little different with number 3 is my c is a negative, it's positive. So either my factors are both going to be positive or they're both going to be negative. So let's go through and start looking at them. I have 1 and 18. I have 2 and 9. I have 3 and 6. I have negative 1 and negative 18, negative 2 and negative 9, negative 3 and negative 6. I need to see which ones will add to give me negative 9. I know if I add two positives together, they're not going to give me a negative. So I know none of those options will work. Over here, I know looking at that, that's not going to work. That one's not going to work. But negative 3 plus negative 6 is going to give me negative 9. So I know that those are my two factors. So then it would be x minus 3 times x minus 6. Okay, and a kind of a quick tip that you can think about is if what it's multiplying to is positive, but what it's adding to is negative, you know you only need to care about the negative factors. The positive ones won't work because they'll never add to be a negative number. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at number 4. I need to figure out what multiplies to 1 that adds to 2. Well, the only factors of 1 are 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 gives me 2, so I know that's right. So it would be x plus 1 times x plus 1. Since those are the same things twice, you could write that as x plus 1 squared. This would technically be the more simplified way, but for right now, I would not take points off if you included it that way. But this is technically the correct way of writing it, the most simplified way. Right, so that was an easier one. So let's go over here and let's look at number 5. So let's start thinking of what multiplies to negative 30. What are the factors? So I have negative 1 and 30. I have 1 and negative 30. I have negative 2 and 15. 2 and negative 15. Negative 3 and 10. 3 and negative 10. I have negative 5 and 6. And I have 5 and negative 6. So there's definitely starting to become more factors here. For every single problem, I'm not expecting you, once you get comfortable, to be writing all these factors out. You'll eventually just start thinking about it in your head, but for right now, I don't want you to feel like you need to be thinking about all those and miss one and think you can't factor it. So until you get more comfortable, write them down. If you know it's not going to be negative 1 and 30 or 1 and negative 30, you don't have to write it down. Just write down the ones that you think might make more sense. So then we need to figure out what adds to negative 1 out of all of those factors. Negative 2 and 15 is not going to work. 2 and negative 15. You can kind of look at a lot of these and say they're not going to work. Negative 5 plus 6 is going to give me positive 1. I don't want positive 1. I want negative 1. Well, 5 plus negative 6 will give me that. So I know that those are my factors. So it would be x plus 5 times x minus 6. Okay, and again, x minus 6 times x plus 5, same thing. All right, let's look over here at number 6. Factors of C. So factors of negative 20. So I have negative 1 and 20, 1 and negative 20, negative 2 and 10. And if you want to check as you go, that would be another great thing, because once you find it, you don't have to keep listing factors. 2 and negative 10. So let's stop and let's check those. I want to see which ones are going to add to negative 8. Those first two definitely aren't. Negative 2 plus 10 is going to give me positive 8. Don't want that. 2 plus negative 10, that's going to give me negative 8. So I don't even have to continue listing the other factors of 4 and 5 and all of that, because I know that 2 and negative 10 are the ones that I want. So x plus 2 times x minus 10 would be my answer. Okay, so now we're going to work on factoring completely. The first thing we're going to do is try to see if there's a GCF we can take out. Once we do that, we're going to factor the quadratic trinomial that we have left inside the parentheses. So let's start with number 7. The largest GCF that can come out of here is 4. I can take a 4 out. I'm left with x squared minus 3x minus 70. Now there are a lot of factors, not a lot of factors of 70, but there's a lot of things that you could have to think about before you figure out what the factors are. If you want to start typing into your calculator, you can. Or if you want to start thinking of it logically, what are some of the more simple ones that you know are factors? Okay, so what multiplies to negative 70? What comes to mind is obviously negative 1 and 70, or 1 and negative 70. But you know, looking at that, there's no way that those numbers are going to add to negative 3. So then you know that you have 2 and 35. That's not going to add to negative 3. So you start thinking of the other ones. Well, it's 70, so 7 and 10. So we have negative 7 and positive 10, or we have 7 and negative 10. If you look there, negative 7 plus 10 gives me positive 3. I don't want positive 3. I want negative 3. So 7 plus negative 10 gives me that negative 3. So I know that those would be my factors. So you leave that 4 out front. That still stays a part of this. That doesn't go away. So then it's just 4 times x plus 7 times x minus 10. And that would be our answer. Okay, so let's look over here at number 8. I'm going to factor out a 5 first. When I do that, I'm going to be left with x squared minus 14x plus 49. So 49 is actually a nicer one because there really are not many numbers that multiply to 49. It's 1 and 49, or it's 7 and 7, right? So I have 1 and 49, or I have negative 1 and negative 49, 7 and 7, or negative 7 and negative 7. Again, you can use that tip that I told you, though. If it adds to a negative and it multiplied to a positive, you know you only care about your negative options, your negative factors. You know negative 1 and negative 49 is not going to give you negative 14, but negative 7 and negative 7 will. So you bring this 5 down, and then you have x minus 7 times x minus 7. Again, if you remember from up above, I believe that was number 4. The most simplified and accurate way of writing this is to take this, since this is the same, and write it as 5 times x minus 7 all squared. Okay, if you don't and you write it like that way, that's okay for now, but you will want to get into that habit eventually of writing it the other way. Let's look at number 9. I can factor out a 3. So if I take a 3 out, I'm left with x squared minus 121. Some might be like, oh, that's not anything we've seen today. Yes, but it's something we've seen before because this is a dots problem. We still know how to do these. So this would be 3 times x minus 11 times x plus 11. And that would be our final answer for that one. Okay, then we have 3 more problems. So I want you guys to go ahead, try these on your own. I'm going to put the work in there, and then you'll be able to unpause. All my work will be there. You can check your answers, and then we can go over any questions you have in the review time in the live session. If you look at these 3 answers, you should be pausing and checking your answers against mine. If you have any questions going through any of these, you're not sure how I got something, you can absolutely ask me that in the live session. We can spend a little more time going over those together. Okay, so I'll see you guys soon.